following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Hot crackers! That girl's got a lot of moxie. She's got a lot of spirit. Check out them gams! What other phrases don't people use anymore? No!
Of course! Of course!
Most of the markings were washed away. The only reason I knew which direction they went is I was told. Point it in.
Good girl. How big was the camp itself?
It was a small contingent.
Okay, so it might not necessarily mean that it was a large raiding party, but it was still significant enough to overpower them.
It doesn't. It could be a large one that came across a scouting party and just wiped them out.
Aren't scouts usually good at seeing things coming?
Not if they're taken out while they're scouting.
I think that means they're not very good scouts then.
Well, probably most of all the good ones were with the army.
Orcs are effective in the night. It's likely they were just caught unawares.
The area would have allowed them to get right up to the camp, but they burned the palisades and burned everything that was set up.
That sounds like orcs.
Burned. That's bold.
True, especially at night, you would have seen the flame from miles away.
And this is why political maneuverings are bad. This shit happened.
In fact, I'm surprised. Well, yeah, we haven't been on the road that long, so...
We're also walking back with the army.
We should keep an eye out for more signs of them. I'd very much like to crush them, if they aren't too big.
Well, I'm sure Eaton could track them if we actually wanted to hunt them down, but...
Not with who we're carting at the moment. It's there.
That isn't a problem.
Do you think we could just convince them she's a droid or something?
I was meaning his parents and the other one.
No, that's what I mean. Although we couldn't take them through the woods, certainly.
It would be suspicious to do it now, wouldn't you think?
True.
I guess we just have to be vigilant for now. It's a shame. It would be good to rid these lands of an orc raiding menace.
Well, we've been away for too long. We should go back and join the party.
Because this is the first night of
It's a representative night, so I was just going to roll you into Merlin the next day.
Well, because that might change things. So for only one day from... Because we're basically heading northwest, correct?
Northeast.
Northeast?
Sorry, west.
Yeah.
Dyslexia coming in.
So...
Left, right,
If
east,
the
west.
if the orcs are heading directly north, then there's the chance we might be able to hit Merlin, but then investigate once we've arrived, and the others will be safely here and safely there in the town.
We will be.
Because theoretically, if we head directly east, then we might come across the...
Yes, but are we equipped to take out a party of orcs of this size?
You don't
Depends on
know.
their
We'd
actual
have to
size.
scout it.
If they took out a scouting party like they did, it would be quite a large party from the feel of it.
It's up to
Depends
you
on the
if you
size of
want
the
to-
orcs.
These are now technically, well, they're not so much your lands, but they're now the lands of your people to a certain extent, Saradomir.
They've been raiding in the Van Uber land, so I feel compelled to end them either way. We'll be having a look around Merlin.
Well, I think that would be our best shot if we do want to at least investigate, is to take everybody to Merlin, because we're only about a day away. And then, if we make, once everybody there is safe, then we can send a scouting party
assuming we
east.
don't get immediately chased out of Merlin again.
We should be wary of that this time too.
Well, thankfully we are a bigger group of more varied people now, so we might not draw the same kind of attention.
Just pull the Baron card until they leave.
That could work, depending on what drove them to it last time. If it's anything to do with why Gerald wants us to have a look here, it may not work.
Yeah, I am willing to help you on this, but if the rest of you would prefer just to continue on our journey, I understand.
If it happens to coincide with what we're looking into, fine, but I'd rather just we left it alone.
What say you, Sula?
We'll play it by ear.
Who knows if they're even in the area or can be found.
You said Merlin orcs. Merlin doesn't have orcs. I mean, raiding, sure, but we don't have little communities of orcs just sitting around in villages there.
Oh.
That's offensive and racist.
Well, there is this one village.
Yes.
The shaman, yeah.
Yes.
I've told her the story.
I mean, but okay, it has an orc.
Well, there were
There was
more,
the-
but the rest were
So you're telling me these are actually Merlin orcs then?
No,
not necessarily.
I
This
mean-
could be Burman propaganda. I mean, of course, what better way to, pit your own people against Merlin, but say that all the bad things come from there.
What disturbs me is that in order to get here, they would have had to come, or at least past Merlin, which means that the raiding would be bad, which doesn't speak well of how well things are going.
I'm also a little concerned that if they're this close to here, we're less than a full day out from Merlin. That means that they're within a day's march of the village itself. I don't like the idea of these orcs attacking this poor town, especially when most of its military contingency has been away.
If they're capable of threatening Merlin itself, we could
Then
be in a
that
lot
would
of
be
trouble.
big bad.
I mean, we might be lucky and they might be only big enough to really take on a small...
Well,
How long did Gerald say he'd been noticing the magical presence?
I don't think he did say.
Because you can summon orcs. If you have enough time, you could summon a lot of orcs. And if
Maybe that is how the raiding party got so far away from the orc lands so quickly.
And if
Well,
you're
you
summoning,
can open portals also, can't you?
and if you're moving from place to place where you're summoning them from, people wouldn't notice as much as well. And depending on how big the group that's summoning them is, that's a lot of orcs in the middle of the country.
I find that easier to believe than they came from somewhere beyond Merlin or possessed enough magic of their own to do this.
Well, if you look at the map, they could have actually skirted right past Merlin and ended up in the Sapphire or the Ebon.
Ethan, during our journey to Merlin, I'd like you to, if possible, venture out maybe about a mile to the east and
Or-
follow us along. That way your nose could possibly pick up on anything before it got to us, just in case.
Wine? Or?
If you have nothing against it, it would be very helpful.
Or.
Thank you.
Feel free to eat any orcs you find.
Sula, do you have any suggestions? I know you're quite an expert at certain tactics.
I'm sure she knows just as well as I do what to do.
Oh yes, but if there's any other ideas you have in order to...
Unless we find tracks or markings of their passage, there's not much else we can do.
What about you, Roy? Are you familiar with orcs and any...
Never really had to deal with them. But I do like the idea of wasting them.
Are you familiar with like orc tracks at all or anything like that? No.
No.
Okay.
I imagine they aren't too different from a man's.
Generally a bit bigger. Sometimes they will tend to, well, not always, but sometimes they'll tend to go barefoot rather than
They could.
have boots.
They
So-
would make it harder.
Sometimes you'll find actual footprints as opposed to just boot prints. That can vary as well. It depends how well equipped they are, but unless they come across some fairly big people, they often find, I think, in most cases, human clothing to be inadequate in size. Oh, okay.
Like the big tough ones are generally about person size.
Okay. Scratch that last bit. Rabbit.
We should get back. Be
Right, so, what's your watch rotation?
It's just 5, 6 of us. So 2 men watch.
In the order of...
your best at the darkest point. I'm fine whenever.
I'll do the early morning, like the
Dawn.
last with someone.
But then
I'll come along with you. Got to have the sharpest eyes, what?
I'm sure I'll be fine.
If we're lucky, orcs will just kill him.
No, 2-man watch. Got to be vigilant. I like this adventuring lark. Oh, there could be orcs anywhere. Dangerous savage ones. Or goblins. Goblins are worse than orcs, right?
Well, unless there's lots and lots of them. Like a swarm.
Well, they tend to die to really stupid things.
Well, I'm well acquainted with really stupid things.
Yes, I
I
bet you
imagine.
are.
So he's basically been eavesdropping on our conversation.
No, that was
we'll
random.
come
Oh,
back and
Okay. Well, just based on the fact that he knew about the orc talk and everything, so I
Didn't
assume.
know about the orc talk. But orcs are a common boogeyman.
Right. So I'm in the middle. I assume Radomir and Eden are one watch anyway, so they'd go first. If Saphira wants to do the last one.
then I'll go join Adrian in the middle watch.
Which leaves where for the opening?
Well,
You're in the middle.
I'm in the middle.
Oh, so those two are
those
opening up.
opening.
Yeah.
And then
And then you and
Yeah.
Wobblebottom. Well, since I'm in such capable hands, I will sleep the night away.
We can
Do
change
you want to be on
rotation.
watch with me, Ryan?
We can change
No,
rotation.
you got this, right?
Well, absolutely. You can rest safe knowing you're in the safe, capable arms of such valiant champions.
I understand. I'll say to Roya.
Yes, I'm so secure.
Hey, I'm here.
Right. First watch, perception checks.
You're a werewolf, you're fine.
yeah,
Well, it's a good thing I have a werewolf because I got a 1.
you're too busy looking at the werewolf.
Oh, no.
Sexy dog.
Never in that form.
Oh yeah,
Never.
that's what you say publicly.
Used to dream I had a dog. Now it's mine, I won't let it go.
Whatever keeps you warm at night, dude. Oh, wait.
You fucked my dog, Potter.
Yes, about this. Okay, second watch. Roll your perception.
I got Trace.
I busted.
Lol. Top kick.
Third watch.
Level is failing once we discover there are orcs.
Well, I got a 1. I literally rolled a 1.
That's because he rolls a dice that
This
has
fire is
20
really
ones
lovely.
on
Let
it.
me cook more sausages on sticks. You know what's really great about sausages on sticks?
His voluminous full conversation knocks one off your stat for the roll.
I still make it. I gotta say. So.
Well, you're not attacked anyway. You do hear some movement in the night out beyond, like non-animal, non-random movements. But then in the morning, you wake up and you guys book it into Merlin, and we'll take a little short break here. And so, the party of brave adventurers troops into Merlin on the trades road. The Temple of Athatur is off to the right with the nice little grove and a nice little graveyard. Directly ahead, as you waddle into the city from the opposite direction you are used to waddling into the city, you come across the great Wall of Merlin. There isn't really. It's bricks. It's not even some of it is actually just like bits of wood stacked up and firewood, little firewood just stacked up. And beyond the old town of Merlin. But hey, there's the Merlin Wall there, and you're in sort of central area, standing there with your cart. And the cart driver's like, "This is where I peace out, you." He's sticking around to miles now, at least. And here you all are in Merlin. Here you all are.
Just been keeping an eye out as we've made it this far. Any witches floating around?
Well, there is a Witcher's Hall way over to the left in a private preserve, and so you've got Baron Mandan's Hall. Hey, someone's got their map that they could just look at, that you all got.
I just meant more
They've
like on
got
the
mine
road.
too, so I was thinking
Yes.
They're around the town, yeah.
pass it over to their side so they can.
There are Witchers.
That saves me getting mine
examining
out.
every wagon and every van. There are also a group of judges
There's a table
who
of four
eye
here.
you all very, very tightly. How suspicious are you all being?
I'm just gonna nod.
Oh, you're drawing attention to yourself? Okay.
Salute and nod.
Well,
One of the
they're
judges.
from my church.
One of the judges walks over. That is very fine armor you are wearing.
Thank you.
And what an interesting group you travel with.
Indeed.
We have a noble knight, a witch,
Love these
a
guys.
Zircon mistress. What injustice brings you here, witch?
Sulin is no witch.
We will see about that. Reveal that which is unjust. You win this round, woman.
Saphira, cleric of Tor, at your service.
Ah! You pretend to clerichood still. Where is your token?
It's visible, right? So
Ah,
it's that ancient one as well.
the Supreme Cleric of Tor has issued an edict, which clearly you are unaware of.
Oh?
All former clerics of Tor must resubmit themselves.
Ah. I guess I must find the nearest temple to Tor.
Which is here.
Perhaps that will be sufficient as a temporary measure until you can get to Pax Imperia and prostrate yourself in the Dome of Truth properly.
Cool.
And what of you? What do you hide? What evil do you plan that you cloak yourself so? I plan the evil of travel. Legal travel. And you will no doubt be willing to submit to a search to prove that. The burden of proof is on the accuser, not me, not here. This is Merlin. Do you not know the local ordinances? Local ordinances designed to hide dark worshippers, such as that evil spire. What wickedness do you have that you will not submit to our will? You do not hold sway here, Judge. The laws are very clear. We hold sway wherever justice is found. We will find your secret evil. Oh, what a handsome dog. Sausage.
I can assure you, my good fellow, this woman has been travelling with me for many a week and month.
So, your wickedness is so powerful it blinds the true just eyes of a cleric or former cleric. And what of you two? Oh, Mary and Uncle, we're travelling with our son here. Ah, yes, the family resemblance is not evident.
I think you just look harder.
Wise words. We should all look harder. Are all men pieces of shit?
No, just most clerics of Tor, apparently. Except this one.
Yeah, I kind of thought clerics of Tor weren't such huge dicks.
Meanwhile, having huge dicks.
What?
It's a word that means wing wang.
Perhaps we should find an inn for the evening.
I think so.
What about the magic inn?
I recommend links 2, 3, 4. Oh, the magician?
Yeah.
I've never stayed there.
No,
In all my many visits.
Yeah, we were at
You've been
Very
to Spirit
briefly.
of Taldir
Plunder?
and Poke and Plunder.
Poke and Plunder. I think was the one we almost stayed in, but then
You fled from a mob that wasn't there for you.
yeah. So you want to go to the magician?
Yes, that's not going to arouse any suspicion with the clerics or the witches.
My map literally has a place with wizard supplies written on it. I don't
You-
think
I
they
know,
give a
I
shit.
have to go there next.
What kind of drastic... What must have happened for such a drastic measure to be taken for the clerics, though? For all of you to have to resubmit.
Oh, well, you see the gods descended?
It could have something to do with that. It's the first time I've ever heard of it, such an event. At least as my time as a cleric, I should say.
So which inn are we going to?
Like, there's another different judge, a woman this time. It's just been like holding her holy symbol up, just scanning the whole party. You think it's burnt on the dog. And she's like,
I'm,
hammer,
I'm going to
shield,
approach. Hello there, my dear.
evil dog, got to kill.
Mosey my armored horse on in between that.
That's not an evil dog.
The spell does not lie.
I can assure you she is not evil.
Must merely be a result of all the doppelgangers she has slain and consumed.
I'm sure it does not work that way.
But can you be positive?
Stand aside so that I will tell you
Also,
what. I will
vampires.
slay the beast with my holy hammer, so that it may be, if it is innocent, it will have a noble good death. And if it is not innocent, then obviously the holiness of the weapon will harm it, and we will know.
I would rather just have the dog than the
This
test.
dog has been travelling with me for weeks. It is fine.
What wickedness that you call a clear wolf a dog?
But people freak out when you call it a wolf.
You referred to it as that.
Wait a
such.
minute, an evil wolf? Perhaps it has killed a lot of doppelgangers. Wolves are said to hate creatures of the dark.
And vampires.
You know of vampires here? What foulness holds your tongue? Speak of it!
Not here in the capital.
We put one to death. Technically true.
Everyone else is having all the fun. I just want to kill evil things. God. You carry a holy symbol. Have you resubmitted?
I am about to, at least. I only just heard from one of your peers about the event. Word had not got to my ears, and the temple and
Then
Tor
supplicant-
at Einvik burned down.
Then, supplicant, receive the blessing of Tor. Be pure. Be vigilant. Behave.
May he watch over you, who is judge of all the world.
A Serenian, of course. Weak faith.
Weak faith?
You coddle the unjust. You watch over you.
You would not say that if you had seen what his hammer has wrought.
An interesting hammer.
Yes.
He shall be watching you.
Bork? Isn't he always? Pervy old man.
Let's roll some initiatives.
Oh no.
Oh, you're rolling? Isn't this cleric just gonna get eaten?
That's not good. Let's not pull the trigger on that. You've got work to do here, and we don't need you chased out of town again. Although perhaps being chased might be a good turn for you.
Nonsense.
So we're going to Magician.
Okay, you go to Magician Inn. You enter the old city.
Are we Saphira?
It's quaint.
Is that the best place?
No.
Then we're not going. I mean, if you want to go there, by all means.
It's old and quaint, though. It might
You
be an
don't
experience.
have that kit anymore. You don't need
Yeah,
to.
you've lost your
Yeah,
kit.
you
No,
don't
but
need
I've
to do that
Still
anymore.
got the taste for it.
Surely 'tis better if we stay together. Better for our business and all.
Bork.
Very well.
Just manly pork.
Don't forget who just saved your life.
I
You've
think,
never heard of dog chortle before?
I think you saved the life of the judge.
She knows what I mean.
Judges are good at killing people.
But could they fight all 6 of us at once?
Given the number of judges that are around, yes.
Saphira would actually take their side.
Oh no.
They generally don't travel in bands less than like 10, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Enough
if he
for a
did it,
tribe
we'd
here.
have
And
to
these are
leave
guys
him
in,
behind.
like-
He's too sloppy.
Heavy, like fairly bulky, like light armor generally.
Judges are the cream of the crop of the Imperium, Pax Imperia branch of the faith. They're very strict. They're also chronic buttholes.
I mean,
Not the first lot.
it's hard to swing a hammer when you heal your strength.
They have entire. They don't so much have a.
Enfeeblement sets it to 5.
They don't so much
Ah,
have a
Frost
stick
Touch
up their
drains it
butt,
on deep.
but entire trees up their butt.
Of course, it could be argued that they are technically the most devout Tauric worshippers.
Even if they're wrong.
That being a worshipper of a certain god does not grant you immunity from wrongness.
Exactly.
As we've
It means-
seen
as
many
we've seen
times.
from you on a regular basis. In fact, I was thinking of adding a middle name to your character. Seth, I'm wrong a lot, bro. So hey, you're going to be on the water soon, so you can sit here, row your boat gently down to my monstrous manual has 25% aquatic creatures I never get to use, and it's a guess what?
I'm walking.
we could just fight Ironbeard. Fight Ironbeard.
I'll rob it from you at a high price. Right, you head to the Magician Inn.
Yay.
People who are allowed to live here are required to meet certain standards. They wear period-appropriate vermin clothing, and they don't use more modern things that have been developed since then because it's like a slice of time. However, within the walls of the old town of Old Merlin, it is completely legal to use magic, and no one can stop you. Not even that witcher buying a knick-knack from a curio store.
However, if he wants to just duck outside and hide behind a wall for you to come
Doesn't mean
out,
he
then-
won't jump you
Yeah.
when you leave, but he has to see you outside the walls doing something wrong. As a consequence, that old wizard's place that you guys never got to visit, that has been preserved and no one's allowed to go there because it's like, this is like exactly how he left it.
3, 2, 1. Saphira, look what I found! This interesting place! No,
Oh no, I mean that happens, but like
Rhea takes a swig from her water bag and she's like, there's something about this place I really like.
I know, right?
It's the water.
No, I mean, I've been drinking this the whole way, but there's just something about this place I like. It's slower, more relaxed. Doesn't feel like there's like an oppressive monarchy breathing down your neck here. Yeah, those bloody rubbish. These peasants should be made to do what they're told.
Shut up.
Roya.
Of course, master.
Master. It's a bit far.
Oh, that's a proper attitude for a woman.
You shut up too,
Hey,
or
look,
I will give you the back of this hand.
I think we should retire to our rooms.
I think we should probably
Let's see
pay
if
for
they even
rooms
have
first.
rooms.
Don't you just want to kiss these lips?